It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Line and the back in trouble, and they go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is NAPA Fan here, and this is race number 3 in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Auto Club Speedway on Friday night. First night race of the season for these guys here. Hope you're having a great Friday night here, and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. A little bit late, but hey, hope you all are enjoying it here. From the Auto Club Speedway NAPA 400 action here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We have 42 drivers in the field as always. But, hey, we're expecting a different race than what we've seen in past years here. Of course, we've only come to this version of the Auto Club Speedway once before, and we saw what happened last year. It was a caution-free race, but a lot of passing. This year, a lot like with what we saw at Daytona, we're expecting the passing to be a little bit more difficult. So, Marty, what do you have to do in this race to move your way from the back to the front here today in this 40-lap event?
Well, first off, like you said, passing's going to be a little bit more difficult. We obviously know the reason for that is because of the ratings. But the key to moving from the back to the front is going to be two important things. Number one, on the straightaways, the backstretch, as well as the tri-oval, you need to rely on the draft. This is a 2-mile D-shaped oval where speeds are very high, at least 200 miles an hour, and the draft is going to be key. And then in the turns, we obviously know in real life that the high side is the best, but in this version of Auto Club, you need the low line to work. If you use those two things, you could have a chance at going to victory lane.
And we'll have to see how well that low line works here tonight. That outside lane saw a little bit of strength. That's kind of where everyone was, because that middle line, I should say, where everyone was last night in qualifying and in yesterday's Turkey Hill Series race. So it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize the racetrack here tonight. But it's going to be an interesting one. We got Eli Bright starting on the pole position alongside Daniel McMillan. Couple of veterans right there on the front row. And a couple of veterans leading in the points. It's Trey Bartow, the points leader. Been a long time since I've said that. 76 points towards the championship for him. Only driver to score top fives in both races so far this season. Mark Davidson is 3 points behind. Patrick Smith is 10 points behind. Keegan Thompson, highest of the rookies, 11 points behind. And Bradley Ream, another rookie, 14 points behind coming into tonight's event. Let's go ahead. Get these guys to roll off from the Auto Club Speedway in the NAPA 400. Eli Bright for Full Frontal Motorsports with the fastest time at qualifying last night. He will lead the field of the green flag alongside the number 79 of Daniel McMillan. It was McMillan's teammate who won last week with Jesse Turner in victory lane at Las Vegas. McMillan's teammate, unchartered driver Brandon Mayhew, the unchartered machine for the Outer Island Motorsports organization, number 57 there. This car has actually won this race before. In season number 7, Alex Bongchenor was behind the wheel, got the race victory. Alex Bongchenor has won this exact race twice before, both as an unchartered driver. So that could be a good omen for Brendan Mayhew here tonight. Alongside him, it's Zachary Fitzwater looking for his first win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since Phoenix in season 7. Row number 3. How about this? Nathan Baird alongside the ride. He won the championship in last year. Bradley Ream. And you got John Arndt there, veteran driver in the 05 to the inside of Nathan Stapleton. Then you got Nick Smith, the other unchartered driver, both unchartered drivers starting inside the top 10 alongside the car that won this race last year, with Diego Yepes driving the machine this year. It's driven by Reagan Whitlock. Last year's winner, Diego Yepes, starts in the 42nd position. Not exactly what you want there, Marty, but anything's possible when we come to any of these races here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And I gotta tell you, man, you guys might have a good shot at this one with Fitzwater starting 4th, but who do you think is going to be in victory lane tonight? Will it be Fitzwater, or will it be somebody else?
Well, I don't mean to toot my own horn. We're back in the New Era Cup Series. Marty Johnson with the Daytona 500, starting from the 39th spot. I think someone from the back gets it done.
We'll have to see. A lot of drivers, a lot of good drivers, I should say, starting in the back of this field. It's anybody's game here tonight. We're California dreaming. We're green flag in the NAPA 400 at Auto Club. Nathan Baird from 5th, gonna lead lap number 1. It's like they're driving out on the Los Angeles highway out there.
Here's
a little bit more wild than I thought it was going to be at the start of this one, and they got to be careful if they wreck. I mean, we're in a massive pack. They would easily cause a big one if someone were to make a mistake, but outside lane trying to be strong right there. Eli Bright on the outside of Nathan Baird. How about our points leader, Trey Bartow, going for his 3rd straight top 5 for Titan Fury Motorsports. Mayhew punting Eli Bright out of the way. How about the Uncharted driver in the middle looking to lead this lap?
And look at the job the 33 car of Bright did at the line, using the high side. It seems like every line could work. And NAPA, I apologize though, but the thing is, when they're on the Los Angeles freeway, it's usually a traffic jam there. Right now, it's no traffic jam. This is 200 miles an hour, over a 5-mile-an-hour rate of speed.
It is amazing what these guys are doing right now. Iquan Haslam, great run for him in the 64. Where did Bartow go? He lost a lot of ground with Nathan Baird. They could not hold that inside lane. And they have fallen back in the middle of the field here. They got to be careful not to get involved in an accident. If somebody makes a mistake, a lot of guys are going to get taken out. But it's the front row now pulling out to the lead. Eli Bright and Daniel McMillan, the 2 guys getting out ahead of the rest of the field.
And by the way, Bayer nearly made some contact with the 07 and 05 machine. John Arnn, you have to confirm to me who the 07 is here. I don't have the...
That would be Nick
That's
Smith.
not the 07.
Yeah,
That's not the 07, that's the 97, my mistake. Nathan Stapleton, the Aftershocks machine. You can go 4 wide here, definitely 3 wide obviously, but if you do go 5 wide, be ready for a big one. I think they're doing it in the back of the pack here. Oh, there they go! I think they're wrecking.
Oh, and a massive accident in the back of the field.
Oh, man,
wow.
Going to the catch fence.
Somebody in the catch fence. It does appear that is Wyatt Quayle in the 39 for Trans-Tasman Racing. Last year's winner, Diego Pez. Gatlin Downey in the 22, Matt Dahlia going around, Keegan Thompson, and Mitchell Alexander Rowe. Mitchell Henderson drove that machine last year, and I'm still not used to it being Alexander Rowe yet, even though he's won the Daytona 500 in that machine. But a massive wreck, and this is exactly what we were talking about. Tristan Allen with heavy damage in the 06 machine, Silas Orta in the 3. I only see about maybe 8 guys who were involved. A lot of these guys appear to be clean, so it wasn't a massive accident, but it was still wild there off of turn number 4. First caution of the night here in the NAPA 400. Tough break there for Matt Dallio, Diego Pez, Gatlin Downey.
Yeah, Napa, sorry to interrupt there, but the wreck was in the back of the pack. We could barely see it in real time from our live picture. However, though, that's probably why we only got about maybe 8 to 10 cars involved. Still a huge crash with one of them going up in the fence.
Mark Davidson, heavy damage on that machine. All these guys coming down. Zamet Oskin, I mean, I tell you, he had so many problems in qualifying last night. Blew up twice. I don't see much damage on the 83, but he's coming down to repair something.
The 5 should be good as well. I don't think Yepes can make it, but this was a little bit nerve-wracking from starting in the back, especially because you said passing's going to be very difficult coming in, and it took out the 88 of Yepes.
Well, Marty saw that wreck better than I did. I didn't even see it coming, and Marty just started screaming. You know when Marty's screaming, something's going on.
Hey, when I say there they go, that's when you know it's bad.
I was like, how do you know something's going on? I don't see anything. And then Wyatt Quayle in the catch fence off of turn number 4. Let's go ahead and see what happened. Should be a 1-stop race for these guys, so they're not going to come down now and make it a 2-stop race. So let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the first caution of the night here in the NAPA 400 at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. We're going to go from the helicopter cam. It's the best way to really get an idea of what was going on here. And I think you can see why something went on here. 6 freaking wide through turn 4. Of course, this track is big enough for it. But you see right there, Patrick Smith has a huge run on the inside. Gets on Yepes, and that pushes Wyatt Quayle and Nicolay Sykes up. Alexander Rowe has nowhere to go. Neither does Matt Dallio or Silas Orta. And Gatlin Downey there with a bit of damage as well in the 22, and then you can see Wyatt Quayle flying through the air in the catch fence. And then Keegan Thompson got a piece of it there in the number 5. But thankfully, that was about it here from the Auto Club Speedway in our first wreck in quite some time at this racetrack. This race went caution-free last year. Not the case this year in the 2020 NAPA 400.
So pretty much 6 wide just doesn't work. Hard racing, 88 into the 39. The wild ride, Wyatt Quayle up into the fence. The 88 Yepes on his side. You see Dalio as well. A lot of cars with heavy damage off of turn 4, which is again Calamity Corner in Fontana.
And a tough break for a Daytona 500 champion of Alexander Rowe. Did not have a really good outing in Las Vegas last week, and the same can be said for tonight. He is going to be done in that number 25 machine. We're going to go on board somebody. Don't know who it's going to be quite yet, but we'll give you an on board for this accident because I think it deserves it. On board, the number 39 of Wyatt Quayle. Makes that move on the inside. Nikolai Sykes and Patrick Smith is there, and up he goes.
I'm sorry.
I remember when we did the IndyCar race here last year, and I made a reference to somebody, if he was an egg, he would be an egg roll because he rolled around a lot. It was in the IndyCar race, so it was really weird. We make really odd references, and we apologize. Let's go ahead and get to the restart here from the Auto Club Speedway in the NAPA 400. Eli Bright has lit the most laps of the night. Let's see what he does on the restart here tonight in the third race of the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We're back here at the Auto Club Speedway NAPA 400 action in Season 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Eli Bright has led all but one lap. That was the first lap, which was actually led by Nathan Baird. Daniel McMillan in second. Zachary Fitzwater will be restarting in the third position. Brandon Mayhew, his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series start. Great outing for him. The number 57, Nathan Stapleton, rounding out the top 5. John Arndt, Reagan Whitlock, Nick Smith, Ace Garcia, Ryan Durrani. That's the top 10 drivers out of the race. Be a few of them here. Tristan Allen, Diego Yepes, Nikolai Sykes, Alexander Rowe, Gatlin Downey, and of course Wyatt Quayle, who flew into the catch fence. Iquan Haslam in the 64 had an issue. He is getting back out on the racetrack, but he is not going to be with the rest of the pack.
I think he's going to be back on the lead lap as well. He could be interesting to see how he does on the restart. Maybe get back in the race.
He's going to be too far behind to catch up. The green flag back in the air. And Marty, one thing I noticed about the green flag run that we had there is that outside lane was really strong. Do you think we're going to continue to see that throughout the night?
I'm not too sure. You know, it was a green racetrack, obviously, in the start of the race. But like a lot of these drivers, though, could be coming to the low line on these restarts, but maybe the middle and high. Any line, though, was really popular. Stapleton looking underneath, but don't look now. Here comes Fitzy to the inside.
Zachary Fitzwater, like I mentioned, has not won a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since Season 7 at Phoenix. He's going to get a little bit of help right there from McMillan, but Eli Bright's going to hold it outside and eventually get around him, but Fitzwater with the bonus point towards the championship as he leads that lap. Here comes McMillan.
He made an amazing crossover off of turn 4, went from high down to the inside line, had a huge toe off of Fitzwater. He had the lead just exiting turn 2, where they're 3 wide, but who's going to get the push down the back there from that's the 81 car of Ace Garcia.
They're all shuffling behind these guys. Fitzwater trying to clear Eli Bright for the race lead, but Eli Bright has been working that outside lane all night long. And he might edge out Fitzwater at the line for this one.
Well,
oh boy, I think he got him. He barely did. So Eli Bright has led all but 2 laps here tonight, but Fitzwater going to try to push up on him.
McMillan was just loose there up in 1 and 2. He's going to lose third to Stapleton. By the way, sorry, Nathan, I just realized that was a Powerade sponsorship, not an Aftershock sponsorship.
Yeah, you know Nathan loves his Powerade. But you're right, McMillan got loose there through the corner. He fell back just a little bit. Fitzwater really trying to power it down on Eli Bright this time. And Stapleton now up to third. They remain side by side for the race lead here at Auto Club.
You know, with the gas on the high side, the 33 of Bright, he gets back in the gas first because he's using the high side there. But Fitzwater has to get off once, though. But Stapleton, nice cut down inside. He's trying to push his old pal Fitzy for the lead.
That might be it right there. I think Fitzwater will clear for the race lead. He's got it in the number 9. Great run there out of Zachary Fitzwater. He can thank Nathan Stapleton for that push on that inside lane.
And here comes as well that 68 Durrani 3 wide inside for the 4th position. Inside on 8th, but he got the middle line on Garcia. Got a big run, that Coca-Cola machine.
4 wide back in here, but they can do 4 wide at a place like this. How about McMillan finding his way back up to the 3rd position? Where did he come from? Andrew Miller inside the top 5.
And didn't he start from the back of the pack today? Here comes Bright. Here's a this is kind of technically a crossover, though. Trying to look inside with a push from McMillan, but that's He could lose second, though. McMillan's got a nice toe off of Bright down the back, and we'll see what he does here.
McMillan's going to try to power down to the inside. Andrew Miller running in 4th now with Nathan Stapleton in 5th. Got Brandon Mayhew. How about this guy mixing it with the veterans? All these guys running up front have a lot of experience on Napa Fan, but Mayhew doesn't have much. LJ Semedo, same can be said for him. He doesn't have many starts on Napa Fan either. Great run from NOFSRL Racing over 66. Back to the lead. Eli Bright trying to power it down this time. They've pulled away from the rest of the field. Bright and Fitzwater looking really strong, and now it looks like they're going to go side by side for a while.
You know, going into turn number 1, by the way, Napa, Bright made a nice toe off of Fitzwater because Fitzwater went from high to low, and Bright followed him. He was able to get the slingshot to the inside in 1 and 2 and go to the point for right now. But Fitzy back in the gas first off of 4. He's going to keep the lead, play some nice defense here in that new era Dodge. He's going to clear Bright as well. Here comes McMillan outside.
Zachary Fitzwater going for his 10th career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. He's actually won here before at Auto Club before, back in Season 3. So he knows how to get it done at this very racetrack in a cup car, and he might do it here today. Still not even halfway through this race, though, and we still have a set of pit stops left to go for these guys.
That's
McMillan
right.
On the outside of Eli Bright trying to take second away from the 33.
And speaking of pit stops, I don't know how far that 64 of I think it's the 64 of Iquan Hazim, how far back he was, but he's got fresher tires and fuel. I know he's like a half a lap back, but he's got the fresher tires and fuel compared to the leaders, so he could maybe play some strategy and be good to the end. But we'll have what's the pit window here for laps again?
It's roughly 23 laps, so I highly doubt he's going to be able to pull it off.
It won't be.
It's a tough break for Haslam. He had a good run going for him and had to come down under the caution right as these guys were about to take the green flag, so he ended up losing the draft. And obviously that is a very, very significant factor into who's going to win this race. All these guys still in contention for the race victory in the draft. There's a couple of guys straggling in the back.
Off the lead.
I believe we got Matt Dalio and Silas Orta, but everyone else in this lead draft, 33 cars strong. They are going really fast around this 2-mile racetrack, but it's hard to make that move for the race lead. This is much different than what we saw last year, and these guys have to work for that top position. Fitzwater did just that to take it away from Eli Bright. Will McMillan do the same before we get that cycle of green flag pit stops?
Yeah, the racing won't be like what you'll see in the New Era Cup Series Sunday afternoon in the Auto Club 400, because these guys will be racing 3x3x3, maybe 4x4x4, with the low line getting the huge advantage. We've seen some of that stuff already in practice and qualifying earlier on in the private sessions, but that should be a good race to watch out for. That's 2 o'clock Sunday on yours truly.
And of course, we run a lower downforce package in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series compared to the New Era Cup Series, so the racing between the two main series here in the NOFSRL is completely different. And here you got to work for it a lot more than you do over there, and McMillan's doing just that. Great run to the inside of Fitzwater. He's got some help right there from Eli Bright on the inside lane. He might take it away from Fitzwater. Trying to shoot up the middle, get that run.
Oh, so close though. Fitzy's still up on the quarter.
He's got it.
If he clears up right here, he's got it. Oh, he did fight it back up top. Fitzwater, he's going to get the full.
I thought he was going to get it there.
That was close though. But now here's a good battle for third inside. Semedo looking down low on Eli.
McMillan doing all he can to get that run on Zachary Fitzwater. A good power down on the inside, but Fitzwater's got all the momentum on the outside lane at the stripe. Fitzy's going to continue to lead. Bradley Ream! Where did he come from? Number 40 machine going 3 wide to the inside. He's been running up front pretty much this entire race, but first time I've seen him in the top 5. And let me tell you, this guy has been excellent this season for the championship-winning organization last year. In his rookie season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, he has put on one heck of a show for these guys, and 14 points behind coming into this race. Another guy who's doing really well in points is Trey Bartow.
There we go, pit stop.
And here we go, right at halfway. This is exactly what happened yesterday.
Nearly all of them coming in. Bright gives a little bump to Fitzy.
How about that? Andrew Miller just
what a pass.
surpassed Fitzwater as they tried to come down the pit lane. I don't know if Miller was initially planning on coming down, but he ended up passing him as they came down. Whitlock with a lap lead, and this is exactly what we saw. Fitzwater.
We don't get telemetry obviously real time until we get the replays obviously. But Miller hit pit road speed perfectly. I think it's 45 miles an hour here at Auto Club. If not, it's 55. And I think he could edge out Fitzy. We'll have to watch closely. This is potentially the battle for the lead, especially on fresher tires.
And this ended up being a lot earlier than I thought it would be for this cycle of pit stops. I thought they were going to come in a little bit later, especially considering that we ended up with a caution in there. But this is exactly what happened yesterday in the Turkey Hill Series race. They first came down on lap 15, but everyone was able to make it to the end. So hopefully that will be the case for these guys. Got some damage. McMillan in the 79.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a shame for McMillan.
Oh, man, that is a heartbreaker for that team. They had such a good shot at winning this race, and now their car is all torn up. Such a tough break for these guys. Been a tough start to the season, and Davidson with some damage in the 95. McMillan's deep in the field off the pit lane there. He had a tough pit stop. Such a heartbreak for him right there. More guys, well, Sal sort of had damage from the accident, but the other Otter Allen machine, Turner has damage in the 77.
Oh, man.
Apparently they were jamming it up off the pit lane there, and it's Andrew Miller out of here in the 24.
Now, he's got to be careful, though, by the way, because remember the guys in second and third, Fitzwater and Eli Bright. They're going to have the draft when they go down the backstretch. Eli Bright will not. Could that be key in the end of the race? These guys cannot be battling each other in this halfway point of the race. If they want to be going for the win, because there's pretty much not that much time, they need to be working together. But how about the 92 machine as well? Reagan Whitlock. I think he's in second spot right now, but he could lose it to Eli Bright. Those guys are going to try to work together. I'm thinking they're going to go on the top side and try and make their move there.
Of course, Reagan Whitlock, Eli Bright are teammates at Full Frontal Motorsports, so you know they're going to work together. At least you think they would. A couple more guys who have yet to come down was the 68 and the 5, and they're going to rejoin right with these guys.
Watch out here. Watch out.
Shouldn't be any issue between Keegan Thompson and Ryan Durrani coming off. They might still have a shot at this race victory here today at the Auto Club Speedway, but we see Turner on the tail end. Looks like Dalio, of course, he was involved in the accident. Same with Salasaurus, so that's why he's coming down right now. Stapleton lost a lot of ground. He was up front earlier on in this race. He's lost a lot of ground in the 97. You see Turner with his damage. Not entirely sure what happened to him, but we saw Daniel McMillan get into Mark Davidson, and it looks like McMillan is out of the race.
You know, I want to go back to the 79 car. Didn't McMillan start near the back of the pack today, or no?
No, he started on the outside pole.
Okay, then I have a feeling then, if I recall correctly, that this is those tracks where the pit stalls can vary. It's not 1, 2, get stalls 1 and 2 respectively. I believe these are all at random, or they vary pretty much.
And he was probably in the middle of the pack. But, I mean, he had a slow stop regardless. He was one of the last guys off the pit lane, and I don't believe it was because of his damage either. But McMillan is officially out of the race. He is taking that 79 to the garage, and we're left with 35 drivers on the lead lap. Silas Orta stayed out, led a few laps there in number 3, so he's going to get a bonus point towards the championship. But now the lead has cycled back to Andrew Miller, made that beautiful pass on the outside of Zachary Fitzwater as they came down the pit lane for their green flag cycle, but it's going to be one big pack for this race lead here soon. Reagan Whitlock in the 92 closing to the back bumper of the 24 for the race lead.
Yeah, this is what I was mentioning earlier on. The draft was... He had to full frontal teammates, the 92 and the 33, and now the 92 trying to get that toe. He's gonna wait to make his move. I think he's gonna try and get a push from the 33 of Bright going into turn 3, but the 24 Miller runs just a higher line.
Oh, Whitlock got to the inside and pushed him up. That's how you make a pass here at Auto Club in these cars, but he's not going to have enough momentum on the inside to get around the 24 machine. Miller remains out front. Here comes Eli Bright, looking to the inside of his teammate for second. Bright wants this race victory. He started on the pole, led a majority of this race early on. Lost the lead there. I think everyone's a little bit surprised by Miller taking that race lead away from him.
You know,
I gotta say this now. What if they do not have enough fuel in the tank? I mean, Miller and Fitzwater came right at halfway, and we had caution laps as well. Do you think these guys, Miller and Fitzwater especially, are going to be able to make it to the end? Because they came down a lot sooner than what we expected.
Well, remember we had our first set of green flag pit stops of the first few drivers on lap number 21. You got to keep in mind the 4 caution laps they had. So 21 minus 4, what's that? About like 17 laps they did under green flag. So I think it's like a 13, 15 lap pit window if they go on a full tank of gas, staying under green flag conditions. I think these guys may have to make one more stop. Unless we get one more caution, then I think they can go into fuel conservation mode, and then they can go the entire distance. But it's going to be tough with that caution because it usually comes from the 5 wide situations. But why am I talking? We got a battle for the lead.
Whitlock, help from Eli Bright. That might be the pass for the race lead. It will be. Miller sliding up on the outside, and now Eli Bright looking to make a move on his teammate. How about Full Frontal Motorsports? All 3 of their drivers inside this lead pack, inside the top 10. That's good for the Owners' Championship for those guys. How about Fitzy making a move back to the inside, trying to at least. Not going to be able to do it. Whitlock has cleared for the race lead, but Miller right behind him in second. Keep in mind, this was the exact car and exact team that won this race last year with Diego Pez. Now they're leading again, but Miller does not want to lose the lead that quickly. Back to the inside for the top position. He's might take it.
I think he can clear. Ooh, not yet. Not yet.
Not quite yet. They remain side by side. Great racing here at Auto Club. These guys have really been battling it out hard for this NAPA 400 victory. Coming to 10 laps to go here at Auto Club. Marty, who do you think is going to be in victory lane after all this is done? I don't think I can really put my finger on who's the strongest car.
I don't know, but coming to the line last time out, the 10th place car, which was Keegan Thompson, was 1 second back on the race leader. You've got 11 cars right now under one single blanket. Now the 10th place car, the 07 machine, now 9/10 of a second back. 92 of Whitlock still looking on the inside, trying to take that race lead away from Miller, but they got lap traffic ahead. Now,
they do. Matt Dalio and Silas Orta coming ahead. And another thing is, too, I think those guys, the guys who initially came down, I think the guys who initially came down, Miller and Fitzwater and a bunch of those guys, they might have been short pitting. It is possible that they could have played that strategy because yesterday we saw right at halfway, and even though we didn't have any cautions in last night's race in the Turkey Hill Series, those guys did come down right at halfway, and they were easily able to make it to the end of the race. So they might have short pit just to get that advantage. I mean, we saw what it did for Andrew Miller, but I just don't know. These guys better be careful. Miller might be trying to save a little bit of gas as he's drafting off of Matt Dalio. This is going to be a little interesting right here, trying to get around this veteran driver. You know, Dalio's a tough lap car to pass. He's like the Ryan Newman of lap cars in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
Now remember here, Napa, sorry to interrupt you by the way, but because of the lap traffic they're catching up, there's a second pack led by the guy in 12th position. I'm not too sure who it is. I think it's the 4 machine. Yeah, Barto. This pack here is going to hope the first pack gets involved in the wreck within the next 3 laps, and then they can get a caution and try to get back in the battle to try to win the race as they're off of turn 2.
They're just under 4 seconds behind our race leader. Barto doing a pretty good job in this number 4 machine. This entire season's been strong for that Titan Fury organization. As they finally get around the 75, but it looks like we had a pass for the lead. Whitlock back to the inside of Miller. L.J. Meadows up here in the 66. And how about Brandon Mayhew in the 57, unchartered driver for Otter Island Motorsports 2 years ago? Alex Bontinor, the unchartered driver for this team, won this exact race. Will it happen again for this team? Will they get their second straight race victory in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series? We'll have to see, but Miller, he loses the lead and he takes it right back. It might be between Whitlock and Miller for this race victory at Auto Club.
This is going to be close here because of the traffic here.
Oh, they got to be careful.
Oh, that was close.
Whitlock tried to get to the inside of Silas Orta, could not do it.
This is going to be in Miller's favor because the 3 car's going to get stuck on top here. Ooh, maybe not. Oh, well, get your bets. Place your bets. This is going to get pretty good.
And there are going to be a few unhappy drivers at the end of this one with that number 3 of Silas Orta. That's all I can say.
At that. 66 to the lead.
To the inside of Andrew Miller for the race lead, but Miller has the help through the middle. He's going to take it away.
Oh,
that's a tough one for Reagan Whitlock. Had the race lead, and Silas Orta just did not get out of the way. Eli Bright back in the middle lane. 4 wide for the race lead.
4 wide. Miller tried to look inside, I think that is. But Bright, he's had one of the best cars all day. And now when they come to the line, if a yellow comes out, this race will end under caution. We got 5 to go.
This is going to be interesting. Will these guys have enough fuel in the tank to make it to the end? That's the big question. Of course, Eli Bright, I think he came down a lap later than Miller and Fitzwater did, so he might be at an advantage. But I don't know. We're going to see these guys come down soon if they're going to come down. We only got 5 laps left in this race. Miller back on the outside of Eli Bright for the race lead.
Look at Durrani. Look at Durrani. That's 68. He's been quiet.
Where did he come from?
He's looking for the runner-up spot coming to 4 to go.
They're working that outside lane right now, and that's the place to be. But not only are they working the outside, they're making passes for the race lead on the outside. That is something you don't see very often. There goes Durrani to the inside of Andrew Miller for the race lead. Full Throttle Motorsports has put all the chips on the table for this race victory. I know we're not Las Vegas anymore, but these guys are going for it here in California.
And these guys, as long as they don't have to come in, they got clean air the rest of the way. We got a good battle to the end.
We do indeed. Durrani had to check it up on that inside lane. Miller going to get the run on the outside. LJ Cimento pushing him right behind. 3 to go in the NAPA 400 at Auto Club. Who is going to win this race? Caution, no, I'm sorry. See him going single file back in there.
Close call there. We'll know in turn 2 if that light's green or yellow. It's still green.
It is still green. I saw them single file, and I thought for a moment they were slowing down. Not the case. We remain green coming to 2 laps to go. My apologies for saying the C word. There is Zachary Fitzwater trying to find a way around Andrew Miller. We're coming to 2 laps to go in the NAPA 400. Andrew Miller continues to dominate, but will he be the winner?
Miller shut the door on Fitzy that time, entering turn 4, but Durrani's looking down low into 1. He doesn't have the help, though. Fitzwater's going to get that draft off of Miller in 1 and 2.
We're going to have to see Durrani slowing Fitzwater down just a little bit, but Fitzwater knows he has the opportunity to get around this 24. Can imagine Fitzwater's not too happy with that move Miller made earlier on. He's going to try to make it on him right here, coming to the white flag in the NAPA 400. Couldn't outwork the inside that well, but he's still got a nose. Not quite. White flag in the air for Andrew Miller in the number 24.
And look at the battle for second with Fitzy and Durrani. Miller, I think, may have just won this race, but it's not over yet.
Fitzwater's going to have to clear Durrani here if he's going to have a shot.
He needs to get the draft off him. He needs the draft off of Miller big time down the backstretch.
He was not able to do it. Side by side for second is Andrew Miller looking to win his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race. He's got to hold off Fitzwater and Durrani, and he's got the clear racetrack ahead of him. Durrani, though, with a huge run off of turn number 4. Looking to the inside, it's not going to be enough. Seidel Motorsports, Andrew Miller wins the NAPA 400 at Auto Club in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for number 24 here in California. How about that for Seidel Motorsports? Andrew Miller, his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. And it comes in a thriller in Fontana, California.
I got goosebumps. You know, what Napa was just mentioning, number 24 in Southern California, especially as we're recording this. This comes after the Kobe Bryant Memorial happening today. And this is a big win for the 24 machine. And how did he win? To pay it off, he made that bold move, made a late race decision to come in with the first set of green flag pit stops. Got down to pit road speed perfectly, beat those guys like Fitzy and Eli Bright who were contending for the win early on, and the 24 machine, Andrew Miller, is your winner.
And when we did the whole Kobe tribute at Daytona, I did eventually take the little patch off of all the cars, except for one, and that was the number 24 that just took that 24 to victory lane in Southern California. How about that for Andrew Miller, your race winner? And he lost the lead a couple of times there, especially the Reagan Whitlock, but when Whitlock got held up behind Silas Ora, that was it, and Miller drove away with this thing. Ryan Durrani, Nick Smith, Zachary Fitzwater, LJ Cimento, the top 5. Bradley Ream, Reagan Whitlock, Mitchell Henderson was in that pack that whole time. Brandon Mayhew with a solid finish in that 57 in his first ever start, and Keegan Thompson rounding out the top 10. Oh my goodness, Marty, what a race it was here today at the Auto Club Speedway. What do you take away from all of that? That was something else.
Oh man, that was a thriller in Fontana, I tell you there, Napa. Very impressed by the racing, how these drivers could commit to the high side. Andrew Miller pretty much winning the race via pit stop. You feel for Reagan Whitlock, definitely, because pitting late in the race actually helped him out, propelled to second spot. However, though, getting held back by the 3-car of Silas Order really ended his day. But shouldn't be disappointed, though. A top 10 finish for the driver of the number 92 machine. And good day for him, and good points day, to say the least, for Whitlock and that team.
It is definitely a great day for a lot of those guys who finished up front, including and especially Andrew Miller in the number 24. He led the most laps, 13 of them. There were a lot of different leaders in this race, and you could tell it was difficult to make a pass, but they were still able to do it, and those who were able to do it were the strongest cars. But the strongest car is still Trey Bartow, still leading in the championship standings, 109 towards the championship for him, but those two rookies, and these two rookies have really been the class of the field so far this season. Bradley Ream and Keegan Thompson, 7 and 8 points behind Bartow, respectively. Patrick Smith, who was actually involved in an accident. He caused it. I don't think he was fully involved. He finished 20th. 17 points behind there, and Mark Davidson, 20 points behind, as you see the rest of the championship standings. Andrew Miller, moving up 22 positions in points for his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. What a special one right there from my good buddy Andrew. I know we know each other personally, but trust me, I didn't rig it. All the ratings are equal. But hey, at least I don't put myself in my own league. Not trying to shoot you down, Marty, but I don't know, man. But as you take a look at the rest of the points, Trey Bartow continuing to lead in the championship standings, but the talk is about Andrew Miller here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway, your race winner in the NAPA 400. And tomorrow, what do we got tomorrow, Marty?
Tomorrow we got the Auto Club.
Sunday, I should say, because this is Friday.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Sunday we've got the Auto Club 400 and the New Era Cup Series. Green flag time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I plan on doing as well because, it is Southern California. It's our first race in SoCal since the death of Eli Bright. We will be doing 3 side laps, 1 on lap 2 for Gianna, and 1 on lap 8 and 1 on lap 24 in honor of the Black Mamba. But man, what a race this was today. Expect a different race compared to today. On Sunday, these drivers will be going constant 3 and 4 wide racing, and the low line will be very key to victory.
It'll be an interesting one on Sunday over on Marty Zakela. Of course, don't forget to also check out the Havoline Cup Series on Cody's channel. He's getting that started up, and we're looking forward to that coming around. And next week, it's the Castrol 500K from the Phoenix Raceway. I think it's going to be a little bit different than what we saw here today, but we end our West Coast swing here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at that great racetrack, and it's going to be interesting to see who pulls it off and really reconfigure racetrack for the Chick-fil-A Cup. This first time we're going to be using the new version of the racetrack next week in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. That's going to be next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Had a blast with this one. One of the best races I've seen here in a long time. And it's Andrew Miller, your race winner for Zidell Motorsports in the number 24 for Black Mamba. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Miller once again. And we will see you guys next week for the Castrol 500K from the Phoenix Raceway. On behalf of Marty Zakela, I will see you guys later.